What if one of the happiest songs of the 1980s was actually a quiet rebellion? What if dancing, laughter, and vibrant color were acts of freedom? This is the story of Cyndi Lauper and the song that turned fun into a powerful statement. Welcome to Soundscape, the series where we uncover the meaning behind the music that didn't just define the charts, but defined who we're allowed to be. Today, we're diving deep into a track that felt like pure celebration but carried the weight of a revolution. Cyndi Lauper's Girls Just Want to Have Fun. To understand the song, you first have to understand the woman behind it. Before the wild, technicolor hair, before the trailblazing fashion, and before the unbreakable confidence she projected to the world, Cyndi Lauper was a survivor. She grew up surrounded by struggle, facing poverty, instability, and constant rejection for being different. For a young girl trying to find her place, music wasn't just a hobby. It was an escape hatch. It was her survival. She poured her life into it, singing in cover bands, working tirelessly to hone her craft, and most importantly, refusing to smooth out her personality to fit what the music industry expected from a female artist. The executives wanted someone polished, someone predictable, someone who fit neatly into a prepackaged box. But Cyndi wasn't polished. She was real. She had a thick Queen's accent, an eccentric sense of style, and a voice that was as powerful as it was unconventional. She fought for her vision, even when it meant being dropped by labels and facing financial hardship. This fierce determination, this refusal to compromise her identity, became the very foundation for the anthem that would soon change everything. Cyndi wasn't just singing songs. She was building a platform to tell her own story, and in doing so, the stories of countless others who felt like outsiders. When Girls Just Want to Have Fun was released in 1983, it sounded like pure, unadulterated joy. The synths were bouncy, the beat was infectious, and Cyndi's vocals were full of playful energy. But beneath that bright, pop surface was something truly profound. The song was originally written and recorded by a man, Robert Hazard, from a male perspective. His version was a bit darker, a little more cynical, almost a condescending observation about wild girls. When Cyndi got her hands on it, she saw an opportunity. In Cyndi's world, this wasn't a song about girls being frivolous for a man's amusement. It was an anthem for women everywhere, claiming their right to joy on their own terms. This new version was a statement that women didn't exist solely to please, obey, or behave according to some outdated social script. It was a permission slip to laugh out loud, to dance with abandon, to live loudly and unapologetically, and to choose joy for themselves. Fun wasn't frivolous anymore. It was an act of liberation. It was a stake in the ground, claiming that a woman's happiness was not a side effect of a man's life, but a central, valid pursuit of her own. For the first time, a pop song was telling millions of girls that their own pleasure and self-expression were not just allowed, but essential. And the world was about to listen. The song was an instant hit on the radio, climbing the charts and capturing the public's imagination. But it was the music video that truly cemented its place in cultural history. In the early days of MTV, music videos were a brand new art form, and Cyndi Lauper seized the opportunity to create a visual masterpiece that was just as revolutionary as the song itself. The video for Girls Just Want to Have Fun wasn't a concept fantasy or a slick, choreographed performance. It was a vibrant, chaotic, and utterly joyful celebration of female camaraderie. It starts with Cyndi arguing with her traditional disapproving parents before escaping her drab bedroom to dance through the streets, gathering a diverse group of women along the way. What made it so powerful was its authenticity. The video starred Cyndi's real-life mother, her manager, and her friends. It showcased women of all ages, sizes, and backgrounds coming together to celebrate themselves. There were no male love interests, no need for male approval. The narrative was driven entirely by female friendship and solidarity. It was a riot of color, energy, and pure, uninhibited fun. This wasn't the polished, unattainable image of femininity that pop culture usually sold. This was real, it was messy, and it was glorious. The video became an MTV classic, played in heavy rotation, and beamed Cyndi's message of individuality directly into living rooms across the globe. She didn't just become a pop star, she became a symbol. To understand why this song changed a generation, you have to remember the context of the early 1980s. The pop music landscape for women was often a minefield of restrictive expectations. Female artists were frequently expected to be one of two things: the demure, perfect pop princess or the edgy, aggressive rocker. They were supposed to be controlled, quiet, and presented in a way that was palatable to the mainstream. And then came Cyndi Lauper, kicking down the door in a thrift store dress with mismatched socks and a rainbow of hair, joyfully shouting for everyone to hear, "Be yourself, be loud, be happy." Girls Just Want to Have Fun wasn't just a catchy tune, it was a philosophical statement. It told them that their joy was valid, their weirdness was wonderful, and their voices mattered. The song's message created a ripple effect that empowered a generation to question conformity and embrace their own unique identities. It wasn't about defiance for the sake of it. It was about the profound act of choosing your own happiness. And that message, that feeling of empowerment, still echoes with an incredible power today, reminding us that sometimes the most radical thing you can do is simply be yourself. Now, let's pause for a moment and bring this into our community. Music has this incredible ability to bookmark moments in our lives. So, when you hear "Girls Just Want to Have Fun," what does it remind you of? Is it a specific memory from your childhood, a feeling of freedom, or maybe a moment you shared with friends? And looking forward, which artist or song do you think deserves the Soundscape treatment next in our Songs That Changed a Generation series? Drop your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. Your voice truly helps shape this series, and I love reading every single one. We're building a community here, and your stories are a huge part of it. Cyndi Lauper's influence didn't stop when the 80s ended. Unlike many artists who become synonymous with a single decade, her career evolved, proving that her core message was timeless. She refused to be a nostalgia act. Instead, she used her platform to become a fierce and dedicated champion for LGBTQ+ rights, co-founding the True Colors Fund to help homeless queer youth. Her activism wasn't a trend. It was a continuation of the same fight for acceptance and individuality that she began with her music. She conquered Broadway, winning a Tony Award for composing the music for the hit musical Kinky Boots, a story all about embracing who you are. Throughout her career, she has remained a powerful voice for equality and self-expression, consistently showing up for the communities that have been pushed to the margins. Cyndi Lauper's legacy proves that being different isn't a weakness or a phase, it's a superpower. She taught us that you can build an entire life and career on the principle of radical authenticity. So, in the end, what is the true legacy of Girls Just Want to Have Fun? It's a song that didn't change the world by being serious, preachy, or aggressive. It changed the world by insisting that joy, identity, and freedom belong to everyone, not just a select few. It used the Trojan horse of a perfect pop song to deliver a message of profound social importance. It taught us that rebellion can be colorful, that a revolution can have a dance beat, and that sometimes, the most powerful political statement you can make is to laugh, to dance, and to have fun. This has been Soundscape, where music doesn't just play, it liberates. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the music that shaped our world. We'll see you next time.